Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Midnight Zone. Dun dun dun. So, what is the Midnight Zone? The ocean's Midnight Zone is a region between 1 and 4 kilometers deep, where no sun at all penetrates the frigid water. With no light, there's no growth of plants or phytoplankton. All animals are thus predators or scavengers. So, here's the continental shelf where we hang out and swim. Okay. The sunlight zone where we see most of the animals we associate with the ocean. And there's our twilight zone, okay? And we start to see a lot of interesting adaptations like translucent animals, bioluminescence, things like that. And then we go down to the midnight zone. And here's where we find really weird things. There's a sea spider, brittle stars, glass sponges, sea cucumbers. There's no light at all down here. Okay. It's very, very dark, very, very cold, and lots of pressure. All right. So the few bathopelagic, a term for fish and other organisms that inhabit the deep sea between in the midnight zone, species that survive at this depth have made evolutionary sacrifices for survival. Because there's no light, few have large eyes. Because animals are blind, they have no camouflage or bright colors. Because there's so little food, they have slow metabolisms, small muscles, and grow very slowly. So this means that they've adapted to survive by taking a long time to digest their food, moving very little, waiting for prey to come to them. Occupying the midnight zone, characteristic fish species include the deep sea anglerfish, which uses a tiny bioluminescent lure to attract prey. The giant oarfish swims upright, surveying the overlying waters and waiting for the occasional small fish or shrimp to stray too close. Ocean wandering species like the colossal squid frequent the midnight zone, both for shelter in the darkness and for food. On the seafloor, the food is still scarce, and the animals have adapted to take advantage of a wide variety of food. The gulper eel has tiny teeth which it uses to feed on small crustaceans, but it also has a huge mouth and stomach, which can expand to eat a fish a quarter of its size of its own body, handy for consuming a sinking carcass or a passing octopus. Look at this guy, how big his mouth is and how little his teeth are. Why don't we keep? Okay, so this aquarium doesn't have midnight zone fish. Fish that live in the midnight zone have adapted to complete darkness, cold waters, and high pressures. It's difficult to create an environment on the surface that can support the needs ethically, and even more difficult to create one where visitors can see the animals. It's so difficult to create these conditions on the surface that few aquariums attempt it except for research purposes. One of the only aquariums to ever have attempted such an exhibit is in France. Their 600-kilogram Abyss box is only big enough for 16 liters of water, nowhere near big enough for any of the species that we've listed in this article. The aquarium in France, according to this detailed article, is only hosting small crustaceans. So all this machinery, and it only has a few liters under 2 kilometers, 2 kilometers of ocean pressure. That's insane. Furthermore, it would be very difficult for these animals to be collected without injuring them. According to the Wired article, most creatures of the deep can survive only a few hours at sea level. The drop in pressure messes up cell-to-cell communication and causes paralysis. Any decompression can be fatal. So basically, the fish get the bends. They can't handle the pressure of being, or the lack of pressure of being on sea level. The deepest scuba dive ever was 332 meters, and that took 4 years of prep. By comparison, modern military subs cannot survive depths greater than 750 meters. Mini subs and deep submergence vehicles are sometimes able to reach these depths, some going as deep as 14 kilometers, but they are rare, expensive, and dangerous machines, and do not provide any way to bring animals to the surface safely. So for now, you have to just make do with the glowing midnight zone at the aquarium, which they don't have anymore. So let's watch this video. See how that's translucent? Well, so that takes codependence to a whole new level, doesn't it? Wow. So not much is known about the Midnight Zone because we really can't go down and explore it. We don't have the technology. We don't have um, the know-how to do it. But it's important to know about the Midnight Zone. Thank you. Miss you.